Hello and welcome to Leaky Weekly, the show where we cover the last week or so in cybercrime current events. I'm your host, Nick Ascoli, and today we're covering new research by Flare about the React2Shell vulnerability and other research by Flare of the role that video games play in Infostealer infections. I promise these will be pretty interesting. I've also been working on Flare's Winter CTF that drops a new challenge every Monday until January 5th. And we have a hint for players who want to access some of the merch we're giving away from past challenges. So tune in for that as well. And I usually give a disclaimer here that threat actors, you should take what they say with a grain of salt because they are often exaggerating. But we're not talking about threat actors today. So disregard. I mean, it's good advice in general, but not for this week. Okay, on to the CTF. Flare is hosting, we're calling it our winter CTF, every Monday until January 5th. And we've had a few challenges already. To play, you can join the Flare Academy Discord, which, again, every Monday, each challenge will be revealed at 1 p.m. in the Discord and then an hour later on LinkedIn. But timing is important here. I do recommend you join the Discord to have the best chance. On week one, took like days for all of the merch to be claimed. On week two, it was almost gone before the LinkedIn post went live. So each week we give away limited edition merch for each challenge. And the flag not only unlocks the merch item in the store. If you go to merch.flare.io, you'll notice they're all password protected, but it also is the coupon code to redeem the merch item totally for free. So the first 20 solvers get a free shirt that is never released again. For now, that's at least what we're saying, but people have been pretty excited about the shirts. So if you want a shot at getting the shirts from a previous challenge, I do have another chance for you. If you send a screenshot of yourself subscribing to this channel and a heart emoji to Chloe, the admin of the Flare Academy Discord, she will give you access to previous challenges shirts, but they're only available to 5 people per past challenge. So until the end of the CTF, we'll give away 5 more shirts per challenge if you watch this video and follow those steps. So check the Flare Academy Discord every Monday for details on the upcoming challenge. And then go ahead and do that Discord thing I talked about if you want to access any of the old shirts through Chloe. And for our next topic, let's talk about React2Shell. It is a newly disclosed vulnerability as of December 3rd, so pretty fresh, that has exposed a critical flaw in the core of the React Server Components, or RSC. This is a critical vulnerability, enables RCE in applications using React 19 and frameworks that implement RSC, most notably Next.js, very popular. Current telemetry suggests that about 1.4 million publicly accessible instances worldwide are running vulnerable versions of this. So the attack surface for opportunistic and targeted exploitation alike is pretty substantial. Now, on December 3rd, researcher Lachlan Davidson, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right, Lachlan. If not, please correct me in the comments, disclosed the React2Shell vulnerability and published a detailed report on a domain called React2Shell.com, which we will link in the description. And at Flare, we actually have seen this domain in chatter. And we've seen other conversations around their vulnerability. We've seen English language, Arabic language, Chinese language, and Russian language speaking threat actors seeking information about, publishing POCs, or just discussing in general the React2Shell vulnerability and how to find victims. So we wrote a blog about this. We have screenshots of these conversations, which contain, the references to the website, tutorials on how to exploit it, all kinds of interesting things. So you can get a peek behind the curtain of what threat actors actually talk about when they talk about CVEs. Now, the recommended mitigations are to upgrade React and React DOM packages to the latest version, upgrade Next.js, obviously, and then redeploy your app, and audit transitive dependencies. I think so transitive dependencies are like the dependencies of your dependencies and the dependencies of your dependencies of your dependencies. So this is a couple layers deep, but very important a very important thing to do. Again, if you'd like more information on this or want to see what it's like when threat actors discuss vulnerabilities, check out our blog on the topic, linked in the description below. And for our third story, and this may not surprise you, but I think the volumes are surprising, that video games, game cracks, hacks, cheats, mods are a huge part of the distribution of Infostealer malware, especially right now. And these are all of the kind of classic offenders here. Roblox, GTA, Fortnite, super popular games. And this is also shameless promotion of our own research because we found this out by studying our own Infostealer infection data. We took a sample and found that of those logs, 41.47% of them, the root of the infection, was a gaming related file of some kind. And across all those infections, 17.65% of them involved a crack or a cracked version of the game, which made crack the most common claimed functionality of any file downloaded in the study. And this is probably an undercount. A lot of pirated or modified game files that are released don't explicitly mention being a crack in the parts of the file that we can see in an infection, but most video games ship with some kind of anti-piracy protection to prevent people from just uploading a game and anyone being able to download it with the installer. When you hear a word crack, just to explain what it is, a video game crack is a bypass for that protection. They come in a lot of forms that you'll find in these cybercrime locations, maybe a patched executable, maybe a new game installer, maybe some kind of loader, maybe a DLL that the person asks you to drop in the game files, and I'm sure other creative means. And this is not a random selection. People who play video games have long been a target for various flavors of malware for various reasons, on torrent sites and to be enrolled in botnets and, whatever flavor of the month malware is. But for the last several years, that flavor has been infostealers. And we see these infections quite prominently. You know how the old saying goes, if it's free, you're the product. In this case, the gamers are the product, and their creds are really the monetary unit. We've obviously talked at length on this program about what is inside an InfoStealer malware log. So you'll know that the consequences of the infection aren't just your Facebook password being leaked, but InfoStealer infections often, can tie back to identity theft, financial loss of some kind. There's a lot of bank account creds and cookies in here, and privacy, issues and extortion. Photos, documents, browser history is often included in these logs. Yes, legitimate software can be expensive, but as these 50,000 infections prove, an InfoStealer infection can cost a lot more. And in fact, it'll probably have you resetting passwords for the rest of your life. Best case scenario. So don't download fake games or cracks or hacks or leaks. All right, my friends, thank you for tuning in for today's episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please tell a friend or two about it. Today's show was brought to you by Flare, the leading threat exposure management platform that allows you to monitor external threats across the world of cybercrime so your security teams can mitigate risk faster. We offer a free trial. It's linked in the description. And check out the Flare Academy, which is our free online cybersecurity training. You can access that through our Discord, also linked in the description of this video. You can talk to cybersecurity researchers, analysts, and other curious people in the industry. So please check it out. I look forward to seeing you over there, and we'll see you on the next one.